Believe it or not, we all lead by example. So do you lead by a positive example or a negative example? And would you like to transition into leading by more of a positive example? Well, stay tuned. Hello, my friends, and welcome to The Simple Sober Life. I am Joshua, and I help others make simple changes to create a life of awesome. Welcome, my friends, and thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't yet done so, please make sure to subscribe to this channel so that we can grow it bigger and help more people create a life of awesome. My friends, so much is going on in the world today. There is a lot of chaos across the globe, and we have seen both positive and negative forms of leading by example. You know, since the dawn of civil rights, whether it be for women's rights, gay rights, black rights, whatever the case may be, there have been two very distinct groups. There have been the ones that have taken the positive route, the positive path, and done peaceful protests, lobbied Congress, and gotten laws changed. They have evoked emotion and, really bonded together to make positive changes in our society. And then there's the alternative group that have pillaged and pummeled and caused riots, looting. We have seen this most recently, and it has been devastating. Entire communities are destroyed because people have chosen to lead by negative example. And we have the choice on which path we're going to take. We've all worked for good bosses, and we've worked for bad bosses. So what characteristics define a good boss? I believe it's someone who accentuates good leadership skills. And we're gonna get into what characteristics create a good leader so that we can all work on those traits and become better leaders for those around us. Because especially in this day and age, people are watching. I have worked with bosses that just sit in their office, they don't do anything until they absolutely need something, and then they come to you and they ream you because you haven't done it, and yet you haven't even known anything about it. And then I've worked with bosses who, really rally the team, they get them excited, they get everyone on the same page, and then they work alongside us. It really makes a difference in how you view your boss, or if you are the boss, how you are viewed, whether or not you portray and utilize these positive leadership skills. And this extends not only in business, this extends to all 5 pillars in the our fresh umbrella. So that's finance, relationship, employment, spirituality, and health. We have the opportunity to create good leadership skills in every single aspect of our lives. And we can cause a positive ripple effect to our environment around us, and we can invoke more positive leadership skills in other people. How cool is that? So, what are these positive leadership skills that we should be working on? Well, I think one of them I've already mentioned, and that's get your hands dirty. You don't want to be the boss or the partner or the spiritual follower that just sits around and does nothing. Just kind of shouts out orders, just kind of shouts out, what he or she is feeling, kind of just laid back and doesn't do anything. we've all been with, we all have known people that just lounge around spouting out orders and expecting everyone else to pick up the slack. And it's a terrible way to work, to live, to believe, to build your finances. It's awful when you do that. Recently, actually, just as of Monday, a new guy started in my department, and I have taken on the leadership responsibility of training all of the new people that come into this department. And so my style is I will show him, step by step on how we do things. And then instead of just sending him off to go do it, I get right in there and I do it side by side with him. Now, I really believe that this builds a strong relationship, a strong working relationship, and helps him look up to me so that he feels comfortable enough that when he has questions or when he has a problem, he can come to me and I would be able to help out because I have built up that relationship and that understanding that I am not superior, even though I have been there longer, but we are equals. We are all working towards the same goal. Another trait that I like to think that I take on and I believe makes a good leader is taking responsibility. Now, none of us like to make mistakes, least of all me. I hate it. I can't stand when I make a mistake. And I think it's that competitive nature in me. I always like to be right. I always like to be doing the right thing. But unfortunately, well, not even unfortunately, let's just say I'm human. It happens. I do make mistakes. And when I make a mistake, I am quick to own up to it and take responsibility. And even when someone else on my team makes a mistake, it's never he did this or she did that. It's, we, did the wrong thing and we need to work to correct it. Which leads me into my third point of talking in terms of being a team rather than talking in terms of being I am almost positive that every single one of you have worked or been in a relationship with or, done business with or worked in spirituality with someone who likes to take the credit, even though it was a team effort. Or even worse, it was your idea and they steal the credit. How frustrating is that? I know, there's nothing more frustrating than someone being so egotistical and so, who cares? So egotistical that they steal the credit, even though we all worked on it together. We all made that mistake together. We all had that success together. No, instead of talking in terms of start talking in terms of we. It really helps solidify that relationship so that people want to follow you and want you to lead them into the next great success that you as a team are going to have. One of the most important factors is listening to others. We do not work in a dictatorship, even though some people believe that they do. We are not in a dictator relationship, even though, unfortunately, some people do. And, in listening to others, we're able to expand our horizons, open up new opportunities, and come up with creative solutions. This new guy who started, on his very first day, I was taking him around, showing him, the workflow of how we do things in our department. And I turned to him and I looked him dead in the eye. And I said, this is how we do it. But if you have any suggestions that would help us, work more efficiently, be more organized, help us to do our job better, then please You know, we're always open to trying new things and seeing how it works. And he really seemed to appreciate that. I believe that it made him feel welcome. I believe it made him feel like he was an equal and a peer rather than a subordinate and an employee. And that's a really powerful feeling. We all know the stress and anxiety and nervousness that comes with starting a new job. I mean, you're walking into a strange place with strange people, possibly not knowing anything about what your responsibilities are. And, you know, for someone to come to you and say, you know what, we are open here to changing things as long as it, you know, moves us all forward. How cool is that? It really makes someone feel like their opinion is valued. Another tip that I have, another leadership trait that I like to think that I exhibit is being solution driven. You know, we have all been with people, we've all been around people who are so focused on everything that has gone wrong that it completely consumes their life. You know, when I was working in the restaurant industry, this was rampant. Because, I mean, let's be honest, no one goes into life thinking, oh, I want to be a server for the rest of my life. But there are people who get trapped there. And that negativity just kind of compiles upon them. And that's literally all they can focus on. Everything that has gone wrong in their life that has led them up to this point. But where does that get you? Where does that get you? Absolutely nowhere except being stuck in the exact same spot. And I used to think exactly like that, especially when I was in my drinking days. You know, I had nothing but negativity around me. But guess who invoked all of that negativity? This guy right here. And so I literally had no one else to blame but myself. Now, I always found someone else to blame or something else to blame, but literally when it boiled down, I was the problem. And it wasn't until I started taking steps into becoming more solution-based that my life started to really expand. And I really started making positive, long strides towards success. So being more solution-driven rather than problem-driven will help you immensely. And it really speaks volumes to transitioning someone else's negativity into something more positive when you're able to come up with solutions. I know my current boss, he's got a million things going on. And so it's nothing for him to swing by a couple times a day. I need you to do this. I need you to do that. I need you to do this. I need you to do that. And, you know, if things aren't getting done, then, you know, he can freak out. And so every single time he comes by, you know, I greet him with a smile and I try and transition the problem into what we can do to come up with a solution. And oftentimes I will include him rather than, you know, just doing whatever I want. Well, first of all, I'm not the boss, so that probably wouldn't be a good idea anyway. But if I can help him come up with a solution that he thinks is his, it makes things go a lot smoother. But who's exhibiting the leadership qualities? This guy. So secretly, without him knowing, I get what I want because I'm able to exhibit those leadership qualities of helping someone else become solution-based. Pretty cool. Another very, very important trait of becoming a positive leader is taking care of yourself. There's absolutely no way you can lead a team in a positive direction if you're not paying attention to your health, if you're not paying attention to your finances, if you're not paying attention to your spirituality, if you're not paying attention to your relationship. If things in other areas of your life are falling apart, it's only natural for you to bring that drama into your leadership role. And that deters, people from wanting to follow you. You exude an energy that's just kind of thick and kind of tense. And, people don't want to follow someone who is thick and intense. They want to follow someone who's open and, open-minded and, ready to move in a positive direction and can motivate their team to exude the same thing. Another trait that we absolutely must do as positive leaders is be truthful. There have been times in my life where I haven't always been truthful. And, you make up one little story and then it kind of snowballs into another story and then it kind of snowballs into another and another and another and another. Or if you did something wrong and you try and pass blame to someone else. Oh, well, that wouldn't have happened if he or she did this. Or Bob didn't do his job, so how could I? That's not being truthful. Because the fact of the matter is you probably could have done your job, or you probably could have put in more effort into your relationship, or you could have done something better with your finances if you were only truthful. And that's not only truthful to other people, but also truthful to yourself. When you're truthful with yourself and you lay out, what's going right and what's going wrong, and you start doing more of what's right and less of what's going wrong, your energy just kind of spikes up and people naturally want to follow someone who has good energy. Another tip for becoming a positive leader, a positive influence, is follow your own rules. I shouldn't really have to say it, but we've all heard that old adage of do as I say, not as I do. A lot of parents like to say that. Well, that doesn't really work because we start off very young when we don't even understand verbal communication by mimicking what our parents and the other adults around us do. And so if you are telling your kids, don't smoke pot, and then you go into your bedroom and you toke up on a bong, guess what? Your kids are probably gonna smoke pot. So actually do what you're gonna say you're gonna do. And people will respect that. There's a huge respect in saying that you're going to do something and then following through with it. I think we all know people on both sides of that. So if you take a look at your life and the people in your life, how many of them actually do what they're gonna say they're gonna do? How many people actually, take the necessary steps to follow through? How do you feel about those people who actually follow through? Is it someone that you want to hang out with? Probably. Is it someone that you want to follow? Probably. Shouldn't you exude some of those characteristics? Probably. And my friends, the last tip I have for you for becoming a more positive leader is don't be mediocre. If you don't want mediocrity from the people in your life, then you cannot be mediocre. You have to put your best foot forward every single day. And yeah, we all have hard days. It's natural. We all go through ebbs and flows with feelings and finances and relationships and all this other stuff. But if you can put that aside And when you are a leader, put your best foot forward. Put in 100%, 110%. Every single time that you do it, you will get noticed and you will become a positive leader. My friends, we all lead by example. Which example are you going to set? My friends, I hope you got value out of this. If you did, please make sure to comment down below. What other traits do you find in a positive leader? Also, give this video a big old thumbs up and subscribe. Hit that bell when you subscribe so you get notified each time I create a video. My friends, I am on all the platforms. Check out The Simple Sober Life and use the hashtag #SoberLife so that we can build this community even bigger. Again, thank you so much, my friends. Cheers.